Hello Suzuki Easts Tigers fans, and welcome back to our pre-season for 2020 interviews on Tiger Talk. Today we have something a little bit different, a guy that isn't unfamiliar with Langlands Park but spent the first part of his pre-season down in Melbourne. It's Jack Peoples. Jack, how you doing?
Good, thanks, Rich.
Cool. Mate, as I said, you got the Melbourne Storm pre-season, so as part of our deal with the Melbourne Storm, we get to send two of our contracted players down there for the initial part before the Christmas break. You do about a month in Melbourne to upskill, to see how it works in the NRL system, to work on parts of your game. Give us a bit of an insight into the whole process, how it was.
Yeah, it was good. It was different. I didn't know I was going down. I got back to training on the Monday, and Terry Madison called me on the Tuesday and said, "You're going down to Melbourne for the pre-season," and it was a bit of a shock, considering I only played 3 Intrust Super Cup games. But then the next week I was down in Melbourne training with the squad, and it's really good experience. I think it's a good opportunity to integrate, some of us feeder boys into the real system, the full-time system, which was really good. But yeah, awesome experience.
Yep, living arrangements down there.
So I was living with one of the other players from East that's gone down as well. That was Aaron Booth, and Melbourne put us up in a little Airbnb, and we kind of just bunkered out there for the 5 weeks.
Perfect. Did you get any chance to enjoy Melbourne scenery, lifestyle, or is the Melbourne pre-season as tough as we hear about?
Yeah, definitely as tough as you hear about. Toughest thing I've ever done in my life. You got a little bit of time to enjoy Melbourne, but most of the time, the days off you had 2 days off a week, and you're just too gassed to do anything. So you just, relax around home and try and recover.
So what was the training schedule like? I mean, for example, here at Suzuki Easts Tigers, we train usually 3 nights a week, sometimes 4.
Yeah.
Most guys work full time and play football part time, so that would involve coming into football training at afternoons 5:30 to sort of 8:30 at the latest. Down there in Melbourne, professional athletes, what's the schedule like?
So you're at training 7:30, 8 o'clock, and you train for three hours or so, and then you have lunch and have a bit of a rest. And then you start training again in the Arvo 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you train through till about 5, 6. So it's pretty hectic. You're doing 5, 6 hours of training a few days a week.
It's like a complete work day.
It's pretty well a complete work day. You're always doing something. You're either recovering in the pools, or you're in the gym, or you're stretching, or it's all run professionally through the club. They have people come in to do yoga with you and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty good. But yeah, it's like a full work day pretty much.
So you've been around rugby league for a while, obviously, to get yourself into an Intrust Super Cup system. Specific drill-wise in Melbourne, was there anything that you thought, wow, this is different, this is something I haven't done before? Anything that took you by shock?
Not really. It's
skills-wise, it's pretty similar?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. It's just, I suppose, a lot more about focusing on getting it right. It's doing all the little things well. Is probably one of the big things that you sort of learn. It's not about doing any fancy drills, but you're just doing the simple drills and doing them well.
And give us the highlight. What was the highlight of your time spent in Melbourne?
The highlight of my time? Probably just the feeling after completing the camp, to be honest. The highlight was the whole time. The whole time you're down there, you're loving it. But
it must be a pretty amazing feeling to feel like that, as far as NRL pre-seasons go, the Melbourne Storm's renowned as one of the toughest. To think that if that's the best they've got, that you completed, it must be a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on to season 2020, your personal goals. You mentioned in the interlude that you did only play 3 games last year, but there were 3 crucial games. You played well, scored a lot of tries outside Billy Walters. Unfortunately, he won't be here with us this year, but your personal goals for this season?
I think just to play consistent cup, consistently in the team and consistently on the field. When I'm playing on the field, make sure every game's as good as I can be. But that's probably my biggest goal. And then from there, we'll see what happens. Hopefully I can land myself a development contract somewhere. That'd be good, but just take it one step at a time first.
Well, Jack Peoples, we certainly welcome you back to Langlands Park for the rest of the pre-season. We look forward to seeing you on the field in the 2020 season. Thanks for your time, mate. All the best.